Okay, let's picture this. We're talking about those massive, multi-billion-dollar construction projects. You know, the skyscrapers that literally pierce the clouds, the huge infrastructure projects that connect entire cities. When the stakes are that high, one question really towers above everything else. Yeah, when a massive project is on the line, who actually calls the shots? Who's the one really in charge? I mean, this is a question that can literally make or break the entire thing. Well, the answer usually points to two key figures. You can think of them as the two captains of the ship, the project manager and the construction manager. Now, you've probably heard these titles thrown around, right? Sometimes people even use them interchangeably. But, and this is a big but, their roles are critically different. Getting that difference is the key to everything. So let's dive in and break it down. All right, so who are these two captains? You know, to really figure out who's in charge, we got to understand their playbooks, which are completely different. So let's get right into it and see who does what. Okay, so here's the fundamental difference in a nutshell. Think of it like this. The project manager, the PM, they're responsible for the whole shebang, from the very first napkin sketch all the way to handing over the keys. But the construction manager, the CM, they're the master of one very specific, very intense domain, the construction phase itself. So you've got one person with that 30,000-foot view, and the other is the commander on the ground, boots in the mud. And right here, this breakdown really gets to the heart of it. The PM is juggling the big picture, right? They're dealing with everything from design to contracts, talking to all these external agencies. Meanwhile, the CM's focus is just laser sharp. They basically live on the job site, managing the schedule, the budget, and the actual team putting the thing together. This split in focus, and, who they ultimately answer to, well, that's absolutely crucial. So to really truly get this, we've got to follow a project's journey, from the first blueprint all the way to the finished building. So first off, what even is a project in this world? Well, it's basically a temporary mission. It's a series of structured tasks all designed to create something totally unique, whether that's a skyscraper, a bridge, or a cool new museum. The key thing is it has a clear start and a definite end. And pretty much every project in the architecture, engineering, and construction industry, what we call AEC for short, follows this kind of life cycle. It kicks off with pre-design, then moves through the design phases, then comes that critical construction phase, and it goes all the way to post-completion and final learnings after it's all built. It's a long, complex road for sure. Okay, so here's the takeaway. The project manager, they oversee this entire journey. They're the guide from that very first pre-design idea all the way to the finish line. But the construction manager's world, you could call it their kingdom, is one specific, super intense, and absolutely vital phase of that journey. And boom, you can see it right here. This is the CM's domain, highlighted for all to see. This is where they take the helm. Now, the PM is still keeping an eye on the big picture, of course, but the CM is the one on site, boots on the ground, conducting that day-to-day symphony of steel, concrete, and heavy machinery. They are the ones actually executing the plan. Okay, so I think we've got the theory down. Now, let's have some fun with it. Let's put these roles to the test with some real-world, high-stakes, on-site dilemmas. All right, scenario number one, safety. This is priority number one on any site, no question. So imagine this. A worker gets injured during an excavation. The big question is the project manager liable? Think about their role, big picture versus what's happening right there on the ground. And the answer is a very clear no. Why? Because on-site safety is the sole responsibility of the construction manager. They are in charge of the site, the people on it, and all the day-to-day procedures that keep them safe. I love this distinction. You could say the PM is responsible for the safety plan, but the CM is responsible for the safety reality. That really hits the nail on the head. Okay, let's try another one. Scenario 2 is all about quality. So an inspector, let's say it's the project manager, is doing a walkthrough of a nearly finished area. They tap on some of the brand new tiles and, they sound hollow. That's a classic sign of a bad installation. So can the project managers step in and demand they be ripped out for verification? Yes, 100% yes, and here's why. It's the PM's job to make sure the final product meets the quality standards that were agreed upon in the contract. They have the authority to enforce the quality that was promised to the owner. So while the CM is managing the crew that laid the tiles, the PM is the ultimate guardian of the project's overall quality. It's their neck on the line for the final result. And now for our final scenario, a classic problem that I'm sure many of you have faced: scope creep. The project is this close to being done. Suddenly, the client has a great idea. They want to add a whole new playground. Oh, and one more thing, they don't want to pay a dime extra for it. So, can they do that? Nope, not a chance. That is a firm no. It's the project manager's job to be the guard at the gate, to protect the project's scope, its budget, and its timeline from exactly this kind of thing. Their role is to step in, calmly explain that this is brand new work, and kick off a formal change order process if the client really wants to go ahead with it. The PM is the gatekeeper of the project's boundaries. So, after all that planning, all the building, all the last-minute problem solving, how do we actually know if the whole thing was a success? Well, that's where we look at the final scorecard. Success in this business isn't just a feeling. It's measured using key performance indicators, or as you probably know them, KPIs. A KPI isn't a vibe. It's a cold, hard, measurable value. It's how you track, with data, how effectively a project is actually hitting its goals. It's the proof in the pudding. And in construction, man, these KPIs cover just about everything. You've got cost performance, did we stay on budget? Schedule performance, did we finish on time? You've got safety incidents, which is huge. You're tracking quality, how many change orders popped up, and of course, the one everyone watches, the profit margin. At the end of the day, these are the numbers that tell the real story. Let's just take one of the big ones, cost performance. It's pretty simple. You see the budgeted cost right next to the actual cost. And in this case, which is what everyone dreams of, the actual cost came in under budget. That is a massive win, and it's a super clear, measurable sign that this project was managed really, really well. Because ultimately, these metrics, they provide the final verdict. They tell us, without any emotion or spin, whether the project manager and the construction manager, working in their own separate but totally collaborative roles, managed to deliver the project on time, on budget, and to the quality standard everyone signed up for. It's their partnership, really, that's being measured. Which brings us all the way back to our big question, but maybe with a bit of a new perspective now. So is a project's success decided in the boardroom, with the PM's high-level strategic planning? Or is it decided down in the dirt, on the construction site, with the CM's daily execution? You know, the truth is, it's probably decided in the handshake between them. It's in the phone calls, the daily problem solving. Success really hinges on that constant, crucial, and sometimes difficult dance between the two.